Okay, next up is going to be tighten the glue one. Try to paint this first. Get that taken care of. This is actually part of the trim part of the machine gun. I was always a big fan of this color. Somebody posted online a question to me saying, hey, what would be a good color choice for the, you know, if I want to paint a kit, Titan colors. And I told them, hey, they made colors specifically for painting, you know, any mobile suits in the Titan color format. And they said, oh my god, I forgot about that. So it's kind of funny to see that, but he thanked me later on saying he got it and enjoyed it. Enjoyed using those paints. Alright, these guys are done. Inside, because you never know. Make sure you get a good, nice coverage for this. This looks nice. I was actually thinking of doing black, but I'm now thinking of maybe doing some specific trim parts for black. Don't know yet. I'll figure that out soon enough. I took the front part of this off because there were parts inside that was gray, different shader gray. So I'm going to put them on later. I'm going to paint those separate before I reassemble it again. Nice and smooth. That's good. We'll do one more. We'll do this one right here. Make sure you get into those nooks and crannies of this. I got a few small parts here that I've separated. No, look, let's do this one, of course. This is this part here. There's a lot of detail parts right here, and I'm thinking of maybe once I finish spraying this, I'm going to mask it off and give it another color tone. Whether I think that's a good idea or not, I ran out. Alright. Whether it's a good idea like that or no, because it's going to have that green canopy over it. So we'll play it out, see how it is. We'll play it by ear. All right. So I'm almost done with this paint. I'm going to refill the reservoir, and I'll continue on, and then we'll move on to the next color of this kit. All right. So finishing up the gray parts that you see here, I'm going to be using the next color tone, but realizing that using Phantom Gray as a choice for this doesn't unfortunately pan out, because the Phantom Gray is basically almost identical to this, just a tad shade lighter, but it's barely even noticeable. So using this is not a good idea. And this is technically number UG05, which is the regular gray that I used on the inner frame. The only difference is it's metallic. This is regular. A good one, but not what we want. So we need to go with a little lighter tone of gray. And looking around, the only thing I have that's good enough is this one, the 305 Gray FS 36118. Perfect. I can use this. First up, actually no, we'll use this one for now. This guy right here. This is actually a much more lighter tone gray, and I'm using this one to cover the entire part, because there are certain areas which are going to probably be exposed, and I don't want to accidentally miss something, so I'm going to paint the whole part here. This is for those black pylon parts that are on the side of the leg. I can go all out with this one. There we go. That's good for that. Now the rifle. Let me just mix it with that. Make sure it's coming out right. Good coverage here. I'm seeing some pigments, not pigments, more like items in the air, like little hairs or something like that picks up in the air. I'm gonna wait until it dries, and then I'll if I have to, I'll sand it down and redo it again, give it another pass. Usually I see that when the paint picks it up in the air. So that's okay. That's good. I have very few parts here to work with, so let me just take care of them. And we'll move on to, of course, the most important, and that will be the colored parts, okay? Okay. It is now time I begin working on the pre-shading of this kit. Taking a few parts here so I can get them ready. Before we get started, I did pre-shade some parts, like the red, which what I did was, and hold on a second, let me see if I can zoom in on this. I pre-shaded with black first, and then I covered it with red, and it has that little darkness in there, as you can see. Maybe it's not completely well done, but I'm gonna review it later on again, and if I have to, I will maybe respray paint the red again, just to give it a good coating on it. So that's taken care of. Now I did spray paint the yellow, and in me being, you know, in a hurry or saying, oh, let me get this done or anything like that, I came to the conclusion that, wait a minute, I forgot something. I want to appreciate the yellow as well. Granted, these are very, very small parts, but I'm going to try to do that. So I'm going to appreciate the yellow parts as well, as best as I possibly can. So, and then I'm going to re-spray paint it yellow again. So that was kind of my bad. And then I already have the airbrush ready here, with the number 7 brown. Get this going. First thing I'm going to do is let me move some stuff around here. Everything's cleaned off. And let's see, let me just get a nice decent flow out. Good. I have it down to like less than 10 psi's, and we're just gonna do this nice and slow, nice and slow. Oh, that's good. Let's try the side. If it's on a little too thick, don't worry, because clearly we want it to show through. That's nice. Let's work on this shoulder part here. I'm going to see if I can zoom in a little bit. put a 50-50 mixture of thinner.
Let me grab the top part because that's going to probably be necessary. There we go. I feel more relaxed doing this than just me painting it overall. I mean, yes, overall will be fun, but this is, I think, the more of a challenge to do. I don't know if anybody has experienced this type of joy when they do something like this on their kits. This is a shout out, of course, to both Maverick and to Zachary Aurelius, because it was him who did his custom build of the Mazinger Z. That got me to do this idea. Just a little strong there, so hopefully the white. I'm gonna balance it out a bit. I'm gonna put a little bit more here just in case, because I don't want it to be out of whack. And I was actually considering of doing this in using black paint, which now I have to talk about the fact that I had the black gloss thinner by Elaclad, which is great. The only problem is that I've noticed lately that it's been clogging up lately. I don't know why. Well, to tell you the truth, I'm using my better airbrush. The other one that I was using is like acting weird. Come on, get out. It was acting weird, and I had a hard time, getting things out of that for precise painting. So I said, let me just use that for the little bit of pre-shading I can do on that red part, and leave this one for the rest. This is going to show on this flag, considering it's going to be covered up by the armor. But we'll figure it out soon enough. Let's do these yellows. So this is actually the head fin of the head. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to paint the edges. I could paint that middle part there, but I'm not comfortable with that. My airbrush is good, but I know there are better airbrushes out there. I'll just do the circle. That should be fine. This is the next one here. This is going to be interesting because it's so thin. well that caught, but alright. Let's do this one now. Now, these were the white parts. Let us not forget the orange parts, because that also needs to be done as well. Just going to do a 3 right here. Begin with the back skirt. Back heel. You know what? Let me grab that. There we go. And then the small part here. You know, this feels like I'm painting orange on this, not brown. I know the pigmentation of the orange is a little different, so hopefully we'll see that through. Alright. Okay. There you go. Reshading is underway. I'm going to continue on with the oranges, make sure those are done. I have a ton of white that I have to do as well. That's going to take me some time. And next time we'll be back on, I will start painting the colors of the Kyrios. Stay tuned.